Hey everyone, welcome to Quotient's Best, the show where we sit down with your favorite financial advisors and find out if they're among the best or just one of the rest. I'm your co-host Paul Blumenthal, and sitting right next to me is the brains of the whole operation. She's the smartest person in most rooms she's in, and she's a true marketing mastermind. Grace Jackson, everybody.
Well, thank you so much for that amazing introduction,
Of course,
Paul.
of course.
We're so excited to get started with the show and get to know our advisors here at Quotient Wealth Partners.
Absolutely.
And if you're someone who may be interested in what we do, welcome to the show. And we're so excited to introduce our first guest today. So we'll take it away.
Yeah, and that's right. And I want to give a special shout out to the producer extraordinaire. He's kind of a wizard. Brandon Anderson, everybody. He makes us look good, works the ones and the twos.
And welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are incredibly, and I mean incredibly, excited to introduce our first guest on the show. He's a wealth advisor at Quotient Wealth Partners with experience working at other large firms. He's a Southeastern University and Parkland College alumni. He's a certified financial planner and investment advisor, and he has experience volunteering as a financial peace coordinator. Lucas Baker, everyone, also known as the Shaman.
Oh,
Here
wow.
he is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be your first guest.
Absolutely, man. We're honored to have you here. And let's just get right into it. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so appreciate it. So, born and raised in Illinois.
Okay.
So a little bit
Bit of
north
farm boy.
north of here. Yeah. So
Okay.
grew up in a very rural community. Primarily, corn and soybean community. Not a ton of industry like
Yeah.
there is down here in Texas, but learned. At a fairly young age, I was interested in financial planning, and investments.
Nice.
My grandma was actually an accounting teacher at a local community college.
Really?
So
where at?
Lakeland College, so it's in Mattoon, Illinois.
Okay.
And she's the one who really got me interested,
Yeah.
right, in the business.
Yeah.
And I remember she would take me home from school, and we'd just kick on, different financial radio stations essentially, and like Dave Ramsey and different local stations that would talk about business and things. And she's just like, you need to start now, right? Start young. And I'm really thankful for her guidance in getting me started and interested in the business.
Absolutely. It's an important thing.
Yeah.
For anyone listening who may not know you, just tell us a little bit more. I mean, you got a little bit into that with that, but just tell us about what first drew you into financial advising, how your career path really led here.
Yeah. I knew pretty early on, like I mentioned, just, from school and everything, I knew this is kind of the route I wanted to go from probably 15 and on. Went to Parkland University or Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois.
Okay.
My goal was to get through college with as little student debt as I could.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah. So, being financially savvy, that was one of the main goals I had. So I had an opportunity to actually play at Parkland collegiate golf.
Okay, nice.
And, get all my gen eds and some of my finance courses out of the way. It was a 2-year college, so obviously had to get a succession plan as the next steps.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know we had an athlete in the
Yeah. No, it's just, a junior college, but still incredible place to play. And I think when you're an athlete in college, you learn a lot about just managing your time well, and the discipline of studying and actually being really good at your sport. I knew that I wanted to get away from the cold up there.
Good plan also.
Yeah, so my brother had actually moved to Florida a few years, prior to me moving down there and finishing up my college years, my undergrad. So I moved to Florida, lived with him, awesome time, with my brother because he's 9 years older than me.
Yeah.
And
so he really showed you the ropes out there.
Yeah, and I didn't get a ton of time with him when I was younger.
Okay.
Just because he was always a couple stages ahead of me.
Yeah.
So really good time with him. I didn't
really
play.
just have to get that time back with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
And I didn't play collegiate golf in Florida. Sometimes I wish I would have. I was a little bit burnt out after Parkland.
Yeah.
But I got some academic scholarships, which helped, and then got out of school and immediately focused on just paying that off.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if I wanted to excel financially, it's right. You have to kind of limit some of that debt. But
Absolutely.
that led me to Texas. So funny enough, came to Texas originally to interview with a different firm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird how it worked out. The firm that I was going to interview with canceled on me
Really?
after I'd already flown here.
Really? Oh, that's messed up.
So, yeah. And I got here and I asked a friend that I was staying with, I said, I have an entire day in Dallas. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, go talk with my friend John. He's, in financial planning. He's in the business you're interested in. And just pick his brain, and I'll text him, and I'll see if he's available, but you should go meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, okay, he's available at 11. Little, not really known to me. He'd actually just, gone through an acquisition with Goldman Sachs at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So the door, as quickly as it shut, it had reopened immediately. So I go and I visit with John Blumenthal, who's now Quotient Wealth Partners, co-CEO and
I know that
founder.
guy a little bit. Know a little something about that guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So I met with John, and really, as they say, the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful for the way that day worked out, looking back.
Oh, yeah. It seems like you're doing all right now.
Yeah, and it's just been so much fun. So I worked with Goldman for, that's where I started my career. Worked with them for, 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a lot, and, obviously went on to help start Quotient.
Yeah.
And we haven't looked back since. It's been a lot of fun.
No, and we're killing it right now.
We're killing it.
We're absolutely killing
It's
it.
it's fun, and then you can do things like this.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a little background on Lucas Baker here. Now I'm going to hand the mic off to my co-host, Grace Jackson, everybody.
Thank you so much, Paul, and keeping my seat warm. So excited that you're here today, Lucas.
Thank you.
I've loved getting to hear a little bit more about your background and kind of what got you here. But I want to shift the conversation more to a little bit more about NextGen Wealth. And you mentioned a lot about how you really prioritize your finances as a college student and going into your early years in your career.
Mm-hmm.
What mistakes do you see younger generations making financially, and what are some strategies to gain and maintain wealth as a younger person?
Oh, great question. I think just, at a baseline, financial literacy in our country is really lacking with the next generation. Blame it on the school systems, blame it on whoever, right? But at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see is just not really understanding how, debt works, credit cards and kind of how much of a slippery slope that can be. Understanding the importance of, long-term investing, if that's the situation that, you found yourself in where you're putting money away for the future. Underestimating compounding interest,
Yes.
right? Your time is your biggest asset. So, things like that, right? And a lot of the work that I do through my church with, being kind of a financial peace coordinator,
Yes.
is we try to just first educate, individuals on how the credit card companies are structured, right? And how interest is not working in your favor at that point. It's actually working against you. And just laying that baseline as to, debt management, and understanding, you have debt over here that's, costing you 18%. You have debt over here that may be 4% loan. So maybe we start with the higher interest rate debt first. Another thing, right, in high school, you're 18 years old. You probably have no idea, what you want to do with your life.
Exactly.
And you see your friends maybe going to some prestigious universities, and you may not understand that eventually you have to pay, for that experience and, all the education and everything. And we can talk about educational funding and things like that, but just kind of having that understanding, that baseline understanding that, everything has a cost.
Exactly.
And, going to Mississippi State versus a local community college, in my case, those are very different costs, So I think just understanding what that looks like.
No, I think there's a lot of benefit in that as well as understanding about debt and kind of how that grows. And I know such a transitional time in your young 20s and for younger next-gen clients, but things like getting a credit card and like understanding how that works and understanding the importance of paying it off and all of those little things. I know that everyone in my friends and close family members that are going through this are getting credit cards for the first time and going through all that processing, and whether they had a college planning system or their families do it, or if they're paying it off themselves. There's so many different ways to invest in yourself financially and also educationally, and kind of balancing that as well.
And then just understanding, the degree that you're pursuing, if that's the route you go. And obviously college isn't an end-all be-all for everybody. Yeah. There's a lot of other ways to make a really great living, right? So I don't want people to hear that college is the one fix-all for everything. But if you go to college, understanding that, there's degrees that have a higher return on your investment than other degrees at the end of the day, right? And, making sure that your time and what you're paying for is ultimately going to be worth it.
No, I totally agree. And that's such a good outlet or way to look through that. Moving on a little bit, we're living in an era of information overload for younger clients. There's TikTok, so many news alerts, just your cell phone having that mobilely on you all the time, and kind of just endless opinions on investing. How do you help your younger clients filter out all this noise and kind of stick to a long-term strategy so they can really utilize compounding and all those things?
I think breaking through the noise, you're right, is something that's incredibly difficult, even for myself, right? Because it's so easy to get on Instagram and see, oh, maybe that's something I should look into, right? Or maybe that's a good investment, or, what I've learned is the fundamentals will always be the fundamentals, right? This idea that a diversified portfolio, over the long term will appreciate, it'll get you where you need to be. And it's not a get-rich-quick sort of investment, but it's one that is, again, it goes back to what is the track record of investing into a diversified portfolio. I like the track record of something like that compared to going out and stock picking, right? For example, that's just one. But working with somebody that has actually, a background in financial planning, working with somebody that has your best interest in mind, and understanding that if you're listening to somebody on TikTok or Instagram, it's very blanketed advice, right, for the masses, and they curate it in a way that gets clicks. So, you got to be aware, right, when you're being sold and when there's somebody that's actually wants the best for you. And being able to distinguish the two is very important, because I'm sure you've seen it, I've seen it. There's a lot of people that fall into the courses mentality. They fall into the, hey, you need to buy this. I think this is a great opportunity, or, maybe try this tax strategy. It's a slippery slope, and one that could, seriously, harm a long-term financial plan.
Yeah, I love what you said about kind of like sticking to the fundamentals and sticking to the basics, because at the end of the day, like the best kind of data that we have is like things that have worked for the past couple of years, and going back and looking at kind of the strategies that work. And again, what you were saying earlier, younger clients have time on their hands. So that benefit of just kind of sticking out and looking at a longer term picture can be really beneficial too.
And, we live in such an instant gratification world, right? Where everybody wants everything now. Whereas financial success, and you'll talk to people that are, very successful financially, you typically find that it took them a long time to get to where they are, right? So understanding that it is a long play, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but if you can make really good decisions while you're young, it compounds and really set you up for a great financial future.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Adding on to another question, or moving on, the idea of working for one company for 40 years and staying at that company and retiring there is kind of trending down, and not necessarily something that younger people are looking for. The NextGen clients kind of always talk about like mini retirements or a career break, career transition. How do you build a financial plan that kind of allows for fluidity?
That's a great question. When you're thinking about the next gen versus the old school kind of version of a 30-year working career.
New school versus old school.
Exactly. So the new school is very much the grass is greener. And I'm wired the same way. Like it's ingrained in us because we have social media in our pocket that's constantly telling us this is better than what you're doing, right? This is an opportunity to make way more money. Why aren't you doing it? navigating the fluidity whenever you're thinking about a financial plan is very critical, because as your life changes, especially with a younger individual, it's going to change their resources.
Yes.
And if you take opportunities with a different employer that possibly has a different compensation package, maybe they have deferred comp, maybe it, makes you relocate. And what does that look like? It really reinforces the importance of a financial plan, because you're having a lot of life changes going on. And the financial plan is your consistent roadmap to those changes, right? And it gives you an opportunity to come back and say, okay, if I do X, how does that affect Y ultimately, right? So you can see the trade-offs on the screen, and it kind of takes the emotional aspect out of these big decisions and gives you more the quantitative. Now, the emotional side is equally as important. So if I'm working with a NextGen client and it's the 4th job in 1 year, then we may be having conversations. Okay, why did you leave that job? And what is it in the next job that, the next part that you're attracted to? And start to maybe uncover a deeper reason behind the shifts. But the financial plan is even more important in that stage of life, I think, than any stage, just because there are, right, you're talking about possible relocating, you're talking about different compensation packages, possibly deferred comp. You're talking about kids maybe coming into the question and savings for them. Maybe you're still paying down student loans and things like that. So very critical.
No, and I've heard so much is people giving me advice, and kind of as a person in their young 20s, is your 20s sets you up so much for the kind of the rest of your life and what that picture is going to look like. So having kind of a plan where you can see, okay, I make this decision and it's going to impact me here, or moving to this city and having this living cost is going to impact me how. So I do like the idea of kind of like this laid out version and like the benefit of that as someone who's younger. And then finally, we talked a lot about some of the challenges and things that younger clients face, but I think inheritance kind of adds this whole different layer. When a younger person comes into a large inheritance, what is your first piece of advice or first thing they should do when this happens?
Well, first thing you want to do is have a really good team around you, right? People that are going to speak truth into you rather than tell you maybe what you want to hear. When you come into a lot of money, it can be a blessing and a curse. And we've seen both sides of the table, right? And working with a team around you that's educated on, how the inheritance is structured, what are maybe some of the stipulations on payout from the inheritance. Obviously, taxes are a major key to understand when you're thinking about inheriting a bunch of money. And you just want to make sure the guardrails are in place. That way, the list of priorities is still the same list after you get the inheritance, right? You're not going off to Vegas and just blowing this large sum of money, and you're not, being frivolous. So you want to make sure that you have a good team around you, people that are working in your best interests, that are going to educate you on the rules around the inheritance, and then, build out a plan to set yourself up, right, and your family up for the future with this, because it's truly a gift, and you don't want it to turn into a curse. So setting it up in a way that you can invest it in a diversified portfolio, you can meet some of those shorter term goals of yours and enjoy it, right? Take the trip you want to take, but you just want to make sure that you do have a plan in place, because if you don't, it can be very easy to think that this amount of money can go further than it actually could, actually can. So
No, and I really liked what you said just about making sure you have people that have your best interest at heart and like that have the same alignment as you. I think is so important, especially someone who understands the topic and kind of has seen it before and seen the benefits, or it'd be a blessing or be a curse, and kind of seen both sides of the coin. So I think there's a lot of benefit in that.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much for answering some NextGen questions. Before we let you go, though, we want our listeners just to get to know a little bit more about you personally. So I'm going to hand the mic back over to Paul for a little segment that we have and some rapid fire questions. So best of luck.
All right, so we're going to get into these questions. This is a segment that we have called The Real Deal, where we find out the real deal about you. we get into the meat and potatoes and really find out the nitty-gritty, what makes you tick.
I like it.
So my first question, how you getting the steak cooked? Medium rare, medium well?
If it's a really good quality steak, medium rare.
An aristocrat, I like it.
Yeah, and if it's Texas Roadhouse, medium.
Yeah, you got to
You got to know the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the same
Okay,
thing.
good.
Any bumper stickers?
Nope.
Nothing?
No.
How do you feel about people who play guitar at parties?
Yeah, it's
It's a
I
tough
guess
one.
it depends on the party, you know? It depends on the
party,
vibe.
Depends on what they're playing.
Yeah, like if you're electric guitar and you got like a whole, that's kind of sick. But like if you're trying to like, serenade the whole party with an acoustic, it may be a little weird.
Yeah, coming to the party and playing John Mayer. Let's
Yeah,
sit down here a little
yeah,
bit.
it's like what's the vibe? I guess
Absolutely.
is the question.
Absolutely. Ever clap at the end of a movie or a flight?
Never.
Never?
No, I pride myself on that.
Okay.
Never will.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit trashy. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Do you consider American cheese to be a real cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real country.
Listen, give us something.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we have cheese?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us cheese.
Do you own or have you ever owned a shirt that says "Kiss Me, I'm Irish"?
Never. If I went to Ireland, I would.
Okay.
Just because they'd probably hate it.
Are you Irish?
No, I don't think so. I probably need to take a test.
The only people who should wear shirts like that are people who are not Irish. I think that's
You think
funny.
so?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
What, have you ever worn a shirt that says like I heart NYC or anything like that?
No, never.
That I feel like that's the same deal as like if
Yeah.
you go to New York City
Yeah.
and you wear that,
Yeah.
you're not from New York City.
Yeah, you're a tourist.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same deal.
I'll see you at the ball drop, bumping your head up and down the jelly roll.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever used a water cup for soda at a restaurant? Come on, we've all done it.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
Ever drink an ice pop before it was frozen?
An ice pop before it was frozen. What do you mean?
Like those ice pops that come in the tube,
Yeah.
the plastic tube.
Yeah,
and you
before
throw
it was
them in the
frozen.
freezer. Yeah. It's like
No.
it's like a syrup in there.
No.
That's some true
Is it-
desperation for sweets as a kid.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
No, I can't imagine that'd be very good.
No, it's
Like it's gotta,
nasty.
yeah, it's gotta be very sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sweet even when it's frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So that's a hard no.
But no, I haven't done that. I
Okay.
probably should try it.
All right. Ever wear a jersey of a team that's not playing at a sporting event? So
Yes.
Like you go to a Mavs game in a Kobe jersey.
Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah. I went to when I was young. I went to a Pacers game
Okay.
in a Lakers jersey. Yeah.
I also went to a Mavs game in a Kobe jersey.
Yeah, and then I went to another Pacers game in a Michael Jordan jersey. Yeah. So I've done it twice. That's crazy.
All right. Ever start or partake in the wave at a sporting event?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Partaken or started? 'Cause
Oh
that's a
no,
difference.
I've never started.
Okay,
That's
okay.
probably that'd be pretty cool actually
Yeah.
to get that.
Yeah, you gotta have. I feel like you gotta have a group though, because if you're just the
Yeah.
one guy out in the crowd trying to start the wave and they don't do it, then it's a bit embarrassing.
I don't know, but then that's even better feeling though, like when they actually start.
when they
if
do
you're
it,
if you're a
yeah.
lone wolf,
Yeah, you
and
feel
you
like the
start the wave,
ringleader. Yeah.
and then you see like 30,000 other people doing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Haven't done
that's
it, but
gotta
it'd be cool.
That's got to be a cool experience, but that's a big gamble. That's a big gamble
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah.
because that's either the best feeling or the most embarrassing.
You know what would be cool is like the USA champ.
Oh yeah,
That'd be cool to
that'd
like,
be fun.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
that
like
type
people
of
would
thing.
get onto that
Yeah.
too.
Or like defense at a sporting event or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's a
let's-
hardo move though. If you're screaming defense,
Yeah, yeah,
that's different.
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But all right. Do you own a second fridge? Do you have a second fridge in the house where you just keep drinks like seltzers, beers, sodas?
No, I'm not. Not in that tax bracket yet. Yeah,
that's
I
how
always
you know you
joke.
made it.
Yeah, it's like when you have a garage fridge.
Yeah, that's
You
how
make
you
it.
know you're big time right
Yeah.
there.
No, we just don't have. One fridge is thankfully enough so far.
Yeah, no, that's good. I know, but you got to aim for that second fridge.
I know,
When
that's the goal.
When the company comes over and you got that thing loaded
Yeah.
with beers, sodas, seltzers, whatever.
Now, my
it's
parents-
like Candyland. That's second fridge.
Now my parents, they're not crazy. I don't want to make it sound like that, but they have like an outdoor kitchen and
Yeah.
a garage fridge.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
think they have
nice.
like 4 fridges.
They have the freezer outside with
Yeah.
the meats. Oh
Yeah, the meat fridge,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
So they're set.
Yeah, no, that's second fridge. That's like you got to get. That's like the best feeling is going into that fridge. You got no cheeses, no butters
No,
in the way.
it's just drinks.
Yeah, you got to get a bouncer to get in that fridge. All right, last question. Last but not least, have you ever owned a pair of True Religion jeans? You know,
No.
the ones with the wings on the back?
That's a great question.
Yeah. That's a tough
No,
one right there.
I think
too.
my brother has, though. And I still give him crap for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
a rough
haven't.
one.
That's a good question, though.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. It seems like he's not only one of the best, but he's an absolute class act. Lucas Baker, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Drop
Yeah.
your socials, drop your LinkedIn, whatever.
Yeah. I think it's Lucas Baker 365 on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
That
Thank
was
you
fun.
for coming on.